For more on this, we are joined by James Norton. He's the founder and president of Play Action Strategies, a cybersecurity firm. He's in Boston for us this morning. And James, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and talk about first how this happened.
You know, look, so a denial of service attack is essentially the flooding of traffic. So if you think about a traffic jam on, I-93 here in Boston, you're essentially flooding the highway, in this case the internet, with a number of pieces of data. And so a distributed denial of service attack, which is essentially using the Internet of Things, other devices such as DVRs, other things that are connected to the internet that might not have standard security, will be brought together to essentially, again, flood the internet. So if you're a user and you're at home and you're logging on and you're trying to experience a website, look something up, do some work, you essentially will get a blank screen, and that's because the internet has been jammed with traffic. And so
as you mentioned, James, I mean, this is the stuff that people aren't necessarily thinking about. It's baby cameras, cable boxes, whatever else that they're using. Can you talk a little bit about new world hackers, who they are and what they're trying to do?
Sure. I mean, I think you need to think about this in the sense of, following 9/11, the country took a lot of steps to secure our critical infrastructure. There was a lot of steps to secure bridges and roadways, essentially for the reasons of having that backup and personnel services not being able to get to people that might be of need. You have to think about this hacking group, if in fact it is them, in the same limelight, and the fact that they're looking to jam up our services and how we run our lives every day. And so, certainly there's some success there. There was some, disruption in our daily lives, and that's, essentially what they're trying to do.
But James, in part, they say they're doing this because they're pointing out flaws. Like
sure,
they say they're trying to help, in part.
Sure, and certainly, the internet is essentially the name came from connected networks, and so the internet is a broad, vast collection of pieces and parts. And so certainly, if you look at the recent hackings that occurred in the federal government, at the Office of Personnel Management, at Target, at Home Depot, there were flaws in those security. And for the most part, we just didn't have our defenses up. It wasn't anything that was certainly overly done in a certain way. And so I think that and essentially they could be just pointing out that that there are some flaws in it. We have to get our defenses up. So it should be an awareness. I mean, October is actually Cybersecurity Month by the federal government, and so everybody should take notice and understand that the internet is certainly a place that needs to be secured. It needs to be looked at as an area where we are vulnerable.